good fight, man. I've already gave my assessment many times on this fight, man. Many times. People know where I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning more towards the young gun Thurman. I respect Pacquiao. Everybody saying, "Oh, you hating on?" I'm not hating on Manny Pacquiao. I saw his performance against Broner. It wasn't a super highly impressive fight for him. Thurman got something for him. He does. He's a young guy, got explosive punching power. He's great timing. Great timing you gotta have. He can remain concentrated and focused through 12 rounds. We seen him in the Sean Porter fight. He had to go to the abyss, but hey, at the same time, he dug down deep. He found a way to win. This kid got great speed too, great timing. I know Pacquiao's faster than him. I know Pacquiao has the punch that can hurt him. Of course, it's Manny Pacquiao. But at the same time, I feel that Thurman, I think that he's young enough. I think that he's bigger. I think that he's longer. And I think that he's smart. He's a smart fighter. And, we look at it, everybody's going to be going back, oh, look at his last fight against Josecito Lopez. I get it. I know the way. He's been out for almost 2 years. Of course he's going to look that way. But this type of fight right here, I know
Wow. That was the words of Timothy Bradley. And Timothy Bradley did say some interesting things when it came to Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Now, I just gave my assessment or just reported on Sugar Shane Mosley's opinion, and he thinks Manny Pacquiao can do it. And I, had to counterpunch my own counterpunch, discuss his opinion and reasons for why. Now, this is Timothy Bradley, and Timothy Bradley had this also to say.
He trained as hard as he's ever trained for a fight because he's facing a legend. But I'm here to tell Thurman right now, man. Don't believe the hype, bro. I'm letting you know that right now, man. Don't believe the hype. He's just a human, just like you. Yes, he is a legend. He is truly a legend. But it's not gonna be as bad as you think it's gonna be. He's quick. He closes the gap fast. And when you do get close, Thurman, he gonna tap you. He gonna say, all right, break. You're gonna hear that in your ear. And when he does that, you hit him and bust him upside his head. When he does that, because that's what he's gonna do. And so I'm giving you little tips here, But also at the same time, when he comes in, you gotta time those rushes. Time those rushes when he comes in. He's super explosive. He's gonna get a lot of head fakes. He's gonna try to burn you. You have good movement, use it. Outbox the guy. When you get in close, be rough and tough. I held my mouth. I shut it up for a while, but I'm just sick of all the people going back and forth with me about the whole situation.
Well, I agree with Timothy Bradley on this. A lot of people do look at the Lopez fight as a barometer on how he looked. Look, he knows damn well he's not going in there with Josecito Lopez. Lopez actually, honestly, was supposed to be a soft touch. And the only reason I think that fight was made because Keith Thurman has got to the point of picking his own damn fights. If that couldn't have been a Terrence Crawford, that wouldn't have been an Errol Spence. He fought that fight specifically because he was coming back from an injury. Okay, that he strategically picked that fight. Okay, and it just was tougher than he thought it would be. That was it. So you can't just go off of Lopez and how he looked in this last fight. I get the fact people saying, oh, well, you're just as good as your last fight. Yeah, but he's not going in there with any other fighter. But I think that Thurman's smart, like Bradley said. I think he's going to use his size. He's bigger. You know what I mean? And why do you think Keith Thurman criticized Manny Pacquiao in the Horn fight? He did that because he knew Horn was bigger and he was going to use the similar tactics like Horn did, okay, by bullying and roughhousing and using your size against the smaller Pacquiao. That's why he knew he was going to do it. And then look, for what it's worth, guys, let me say this. I think Keith Thurman, he's never been in there with no one like Pacquiao, but I think the reason he's picking Pacquiao because he's old. You know what I'm saying? He figures that it's the time to beat Pacquiao because if there's any time to beat him, it's right now. Not 2 years ago, not 3 years ago, but right now. And he feels like, okay, he's older, and he's this is like one of the oldest versions of Manny Pacquiao. So this is the best time to fight Manny Pacquiao. Because again, Keith Thurman picks his own fights, people. So if he didn't think he could win, he wouldn't pick the fight, plain and simple. You know what I mean? And like Timothy Bradley said, yeah, hey, don't believe the hype. He's just a man. Timing, you know what I mean? So basically, he was giving Keith Thurman a cheat sheet. Now the question is, will Keith Thurman use that cheap sheet? Will he use it? Right? Now, he may or may not, but I think Keith Thurman has his own ideas. Again, I keep telling you guys, he is waiting for that particular time. He's waiting to time that punch. That's it. So exactly what Timothy Bradley said, Keith Thurman more than likely already knows. You know what I'm saying? I think that little doo-doo-doo-doo he was mentioning, I think he didn't know about that. But I think Keith Thurman has his own strategy on how to beat Manny Pacquiao. So it is interesting. But Timothy Bradley, this interview was also, everybody thinks he's hating on Pacquiao, because, he was beaten by Pacquiao. And then really their last encounter was probably the worst because Bradley never went down on the first two fights. He won the first one by decision, right? And the second one was a pretty good fight. But then the third one was like, damn, like Pacquiao got better. I guess that was Bradley's indication to leave the sport. So in essence, Timothy Bradley was talking about fighting Errol Spence at one time. So he didn't necessarily do a De La Hoya on him. You know what I'm saying? So, look, these are all good points. You got to see both sides. You got to see why these fights are made, why the keys of victory, and why other people pick particular fighters to win. And this is Timothy Bradley. So you guys tell me what you think about Timothy Bradley's statements. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.